The Siege Powerdashers are really cool repaints that we got over the course of early selects and Siege, and I gotta admit, they are some of the coolest looking ones. Mine have the Toy Hacks labels applied to them, so they look even more special, but it's really nice to see that they took some really obscure characters and turned the weaponizers into these, because it's stuff that we never thought we would get. Starting with Aragon here, he turns into a thing. He's a repaint of Cog, which means he has all the problems of Cog, and that means he essentially turns into nothing. But it does look nice in the red and black with the little hits of blue from the Toy Hacks labels and the little details that come out. He does roll pretty okay since he's this little convoy vehicle, and he can still do the whole Wallace and Gromit thing where he splits into two different vehicles, but he's nothing really special to write home about. Unfortunately, he does suffer because he's a Cog repaint. Next up is Chromar, and Chromar is cool. He has this really nice VTOL jet mode with these rocket launchers and these weird little cockpits at the back, but he is very cool. The only problem is that lump underneath him. It's the only real piece of kibble. The Toy Hacks labels add these nice missile caps and flared ends for the cannons. It just looks really nice. And he does have this thing where you can basically just detach the jet and have it go off on its thing and have like a turret and a jet, kind of like how Cog, Wallace's, and Gromit's. Either way, this one's definitely a high recommendation. Lastly is my favorite. This is Zatar, a repaint of Brunt, and he turns into this maser tank drill thing that looks like it's straight out of Godzilla. I really like this one, and the Toy Hacks labels elevate this to a whole nother level. I especially like where it says Drill Dasher, these side panels right here, those all look really nice. The details at the top and even on the front of the cannon there. It's so nice the Toy Hacks labels go through with this, and they do look so good on him. He does roll pretty poorly, unfortunately, but that doesn't stop this guy from being a fantastic time, and it doesn't stop the Powerdashers from being an awesome set. The Powerdashers are probably the best colorways for the weaponizers, in my opinion. It's arguable that Red Cog might be better than this, but definitely for Chromar and Zatar, these are definitely cooler colors than Brunt and Six Gun, even though I really do like Six Gun's colors. We're going to start by transforming Aragon here. He is just Cog, so he's really, and that's enough. Just being Cog is enough. But he transforms like all weaponizers do, where you pull them apart. And you want to rip off the arms, come right here, flip this piece up, spin around the head, come to the legs, just spin the waist piece up, combine those two sections, and then bring the arms in. And you can leave the guns on the side of the arms, or you can stick them in his hands, you can flare these pieces out, you can stick the blasters on his back, you can do whatever you want with them. I'm just going to put them in his hands. Yeah, you know what? That's easy. We're just going to put him in his hands. So he's a pretty easy to transform weaponizer, and he looks fine in robot mode. I can't remember who said it, but I think it might have been Perspective End, and he said that weaponizers most weaponizers succeed in two modes, and because they have to be weapons, they have to be a robot, and they have to be a vehicle. And Cog really doesn't succeed at being a vehicle. He kind of turns into a lump of nothing, but that's not Aragon's fault, it's Cog's fault. Anyway, we're gonna do probably the one that succeeds the closest in all three modes, because he has good weapons, good vehicle, like an okay vehicle mode. This is kind of kibbly, but hey, what are you gonna do? And then he has a good robot mode, and that's Chromar here. So just extend the leg. Actually, so it's really dumb that you have to remove the legs and flip them around, because you should just be able to. Oh, you can just rotate the waist. I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. I am so dumb. Don't listen to me. So just rotate the waist around, fold out the legs, and flip down the feet. Come right here, pull this backpack off, and fold this down. Then we're gonna plug this into the top, plug that down. There's some tabs on the side of the torso. We're gonna plug those in. And then the arms, these pegs come down, and the arms tab onto the opposite side that they were plugged in on. There we go. Whoop, wee. All right, and then just come down to this piece right here, fold it down. You can fold down the missiles all the way, and rotate his head around. And now you can leave him with like 6-gun arms. What I like to do to make him look a little different than 6-gun is take these and peg them into the thrusters, so that way it gives them this like little double tower spike thing going on. And I quite like that, since my 6-gun has the arms and I display them all on the same shelf with these pieces coming from right here. So just to differentiate everyone a little bit, there we go. That's how I do my Chromar, is like that. And I think he looks really good. I actually really like the head sculpt on that guy. Toy Hex labels help a lot. And then we have the favorite. We have Zaytar, who I think looks the coolest, and also like he explodes the most when he transforms. And he succeeds in robot and vehicle mode. I love the Mazer drill tank. I think it's really, really cool. And basically with him, you just want to pull everything that comes apart, pull it apart, because that's just how he transforms. There we go. Those legs are on the right side now. Like, yeah, if it comes apart, pull it apart. That's the rule with Brunt and Zaytar. If I can get this panel off, there we go. Sometimes you got to get one side off, and then you can wiggle the other side free. And so once you have that done, then you got to flip out his leg pegs from behind the knees. And they use like engineering from all these guys like later on too, like because some of the modulators use like Brunt's waist piece engineering. Plug those together, remove the sides, remove the drill, flip this down, fold that up, and we get a pretty beautifully painted face there, which is really funny because Brunt's head is right on the other side, which makes me wonder if his face is on the back of Brunt's head. I don't have a Brunt, so I can't confirm. Plug that in. Oh, and then rotate this around. Plug this in. And I like to put this over the shoulder. You can put it wherever you like. You can have him hold it, kind of. But I like to put the little cannon just above the shoulder like a big old smokestack. And then come to the arms, and last time they used slider joints. So just slide them until they click twice. Flip out his little crab claw. And plug it in. And one more time. They are tight, which I appreciate that they're still tight and not just loose after all this time. And plug it in. And there we go. There are the Powerdashers in their robot modes. Very, very cool. Getting the Powerdashers into robot mode, and they look fantastic together. I especially love how their colors complement each other, and they do have a level of articulation that's standard across all three, aside from Mr. Zoidberg over here, but that's besides the point. Starting off with Chromar, he looks like the leader of the group. He's powerful, he has these big chunky boots, this stance, these shoulders that are big and round, and I especially love the head sculpt that's super accurate to the old mail-away figure. It looks really nice on this body too. He just oozes presence, and it's very nice to see. Zaytar, who is my personal favorite, the yellow pops on this guy. Absolutely love the yellow, black, and silver. And then the squished little head sculpt is so cute. Like, I love that it's just at the bottom of this drill and it's a squashed little face because it used to be like a sticker on the original. That being said, he still is really, really nice. Lastly is Aragon. And he is a cog repaint, but he does have pretty good posability, and he does look fairly good for being a red jumpsuit cog. He looks fine and can get into some decent poses. The head sculpt, once again, is very accurate to the old mail-away figure, and I love his little pursed lips, it looks like. I don't know if it's supposed to be a faceplate or a mouth, but it's kind of funny. And he looks good, and they all do look good together. These guys really do look great together, and I cannot stress that enough. They have wonderful colors that complement each other, and it's really cool to see these. We're going to start on articulation with Chromar here. Going to move that to the side. Chromar has hot rod shoulders. They go 360. He has a bicep swivel and 90 degrees at the elbow. So he does not have a wrist swivel, sorry, but you can really get the wrist wherever you want with those joints up there. I wish the shoulders were a little less awkward, but because he's an early weaponizer, you can't really do a lot about that. He does have a swivel at the head, full 360. Legs go forward pretty far. They go back. If we move the pipes out of the way, they can go back pretty unimpeded. Getting the arm out of the way, go out about 90. Because he's a weaponizer, full 360 at the thigh, because it just plugs on there. 90 degrees at the knee, and he has a full ankle tilt. I wouldn't say a full inversion because it's not Metal Hawk, but a full ankle tilt, which is really, really nice. So pretty good articulation, all things considered, for a dude who has to pull apart and become a bunch of guns for other dudes. Chromar definitely gets away with the articulation department. Love this guy, by the way. He looks so good. We're gonna go with Aragon next, because once again, we'll save my favorite for last. He does have a swivel at the neck, but it is pretty impeded by the two big Starscream pylons on his head, so it is kind of difficult to get in there. Full 360 at the shoulders because they just plug on. His arms go, if you turn them, oh my god, no. So if you flip this out, they can go all the way up, or if you turn them, which he does have a bicep swivel. He has a 90, just past 90 at the elbow. That's pretty cool. Just past 90 at the elbow, no wrist swivel again. He does have a waist swivel, which I was impressed with because of how this is constructed, which the modulator guy who does something similar like that doesn't have a waist swivel, so I was impressed. Legs go forward just a little bit past 90. They go back that far before they pop off, which he does have a thigh swivel, as you can tell, because they just plug on. Full on knees, and then he has a full ankle tilt. So also really good articulation on Aragon here. For the most part, I think he's a little bit more impeded than Chromar, just because of the head, but overall about the same articulation between those two. Then we get the weird one. He has some weird articulation. So you might think, oh, you want to grab the drill to turn his head, and you can at certain points, at least on my copy, because it catches. But yeah, just a head swivel. But because this is just pegged on, sometimes it doesn't catch. So he has full 360 at the shoulders because they're just plugged in. Arms go out about that far. 360 at the bicep, and then he has Optimus Primal elbows, which is unfortunate. But he does have a little claw. He has a little claw. And the question might be, how does he hold his blaster? You just plug it into the side right here. That's how he holds it. He just does that. So not the most convenient way, which is why I kind of just like it as a smokestack. But yeah, he does have articulated hands. 360 at the waist because it is just plugged on. Legs go up very far. Legs go back pretty far. They go out. Ooh, can we get more than 90? Just a little bit higher than 90. There we go. 360 at the thigh, or at least they would if this panel wasn't there. Bends at the knee, but do be careful because you can push it past 90, but if you push it just a little bit further, it unpegs. So you do got to be careful at the knee. And of course, he has a boot cup swivel as well because the boots just plug in right there. And then a full ankle tilt like the other Powerdashers and Weaponizers. So overall, a pretty standard level of articulation across the three of them. All of them have swivel heads, all of them have full ankles. It's in the arms, and even then I think they have all the same articulation in the arms. So they do across the board have the same articulation between each other, which is pretty nice whenever you're talking about this group. But yeah, that's articulation on them. To put it bluntly, the Powerdashers are great weaponizers. If you have any of the weaponizers, you know what you're getting into with these guys. You know how much fun they can be. That being said, it's not going to change your mind on the weaponizers. These guys just look cool, but is that enough for you? Part of the fun of these guys is the fact that they can weaponize. You get this whole pile of weapons and fun stuff to use. So do keep that in mind if you decide to pick these up, because they aren't the easiest to get, and they are kind of pricey due to how they're old Selects figures, and one of them was exclusive to a 3-pack. If you can get them all together in one go, that's amazing, but do be wary when trying to track these guys down that it might get a little pricey. That being said, they're cool, and I definitely recommend them because they are the best looking weaponizers in my opinion. Anyways, if you can get your hands on them, do it. Go get them. That's all I gotta say. This has been Bot's Obsession.